Hey there, I'm happy you're here. My name is Chris, and this is the Quit Your Job YouTube channel. So in my opinion, any amount of people over 3 is a squad. So we have 4 subscribers now. Don't know why you've subscribed after the one video. I'm gonna talk about that one video, but I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to join the now formed Quit Your Job squad. Very exclusive, some ground rules. You don't actually have to quit your job in order to make it on the squad. Just subscribe. I'm working on making an Instagram. I'm probably going to mostly post current work stuff on there. So stuff that I am now working on, maybe a little bit of FedEx stuff. I will get into that because I know after the last video, some of you are probably confused about that comment if you actually watched the last video, which a lot of you actually have. I'm surprised at how much people actually liked that video. So I'm going to talk about some stuff. First of all, I kind of want to clear up why it's been so long since the last video. I think I made it out to look like it was going to be a series, and I meant it to be a series of you guys basically watching my last week of work, and I took a video and I made commentary and all these things, and I was just too busy to sit down and edit everything. I could probably make like 5 or 6 more quitting FedEx episodes, but it is just so far in the past and not worth my time anymore. So I'm gonna give you the Cliff Notes. So let's go ahead and head back to the day after the day you guys watched. It was the worst day on the job. So the day that I talked to you guys in that video, I had like 160 stops, something like that. The day after that, I had quite a few more. In fact, I had 110 more. I had 270 stops. It was really 280, but I only did 270 because I couldn't fit them all on there. There were some things that were just too big, and thank goodness I got to leave them behind. But that day, that 270 stop day, was a testament to me that what I was doing was the right thing, because that job was just going to keep abusing me, and it kind of still is. Not so much. I'm kind of abusing the job now, but I'll get into that in a second. So going back to that week, I had that 270 stop day, and I just want to do some math with y'all. So my average stops per hour is usually around 30. Sometimes it's 35, sometimes it's like 28, but it's usually 30, especially if I'm just on my own route and nothing super crazy happens. Even though something crazy happened that day, I was able to manage my 30 per hour. So now let's think of the timing. I got into the station around 6 a.m. to start sorting the truck. I already had like 180 stops at that point when I got there. So I was going to get 100 more over the next couple of hours. So I get there, I start sorting the truck, it's at 180, started at 6, and then I finally got out of the station by like 8:45. Figured out all the stuff I was taking, all the stuff I was leaving, and got that all sorted out, and then I leave. I got my first delivery out by 9 o'clock, which makes the math really easy. So if I have 270 stops and I start at 9 o'clock, what time am I going to finish if I do 30 stops an hour? You math people, real quick, are probably doing this in your head. You're probably done before I'm even done talking about this. 9 hours. From 9 o'clock to 6 p.m., I was making deliveries, breaking my back, taking bed frames up steps, because people who order bed frames always live on at least the 2nd floor of their apartment building, and of course there is no elevator. So I didn't get done until around 6 p.m. Then it took me about a half an hour to get back to the station, fighting nighttime traffic, everybody else getting off work and trying to go home. And then another like 15-20 minutes. We'll just say I got home at 7 that night. I think that is the legit number. So I left that morning at 6 a.m. and I got home that night at 7 p.m. Now, those of you who are UPS drivers, and I know there's at least one of you out there, you're out there saying, well, whatever, 7 p.m., I don't get home until 11 p.m. You people are nuts. You've got way better benefits. You're also way better compensated, but what you're doing isn't worth it. Hate to break it to you. There is nothing on this earth that would make it worth delivering for 9 straight hours. Couldn't make me do it again, and I never will. I will never do that again. I would rather die. Now, one thing I want to say, just because I want to make sure that I'm not demonizing the wrong people. The contractor that I work for, the people who manage that company, are fantastic people. They're very good people, very nice and kind people. Their hands are tied with this stuff. The people who suck, the bad people, are FedEx. FedEx is the worst. They have plenty of money to expand these operations, plenty of money to pay the contractors so that they can hire more drivers at a lucrative rate that keeps the drivers around. But FedEx doesn't do that because they don't have to deal with it. At the end of the day, they are just the company you pay to set it all up, to use their systems. FedEx does not have to deal with taking your package and taking it up 3 flights of stairs. That is not their problem. They don't have to deal with me having 270 stops. In fact, they get to penalize the contractor that I work for if I don't get that ridiculous amount of packages figured out in one day. They will penalize my contractor. FedEx is the bad guy. FedEx is a bad guy. Very bad. And I hope they burn to the ground at some point. Nothing would make me happier. So now let's transition away from my last awful week of work to my first week of new work. I am now working as a personal trainer. So I went to school for exercise and wellness. Before I went to school, I decided I wanted to be a physical therapist. And I wanted to do that because I enjoy exercise and the way that it can heal people. So physical therapist made sense to me. Through my time at school, I came to realize that it wasn't the physical therapy that I liked, it was the training that I liked. And something I also came to find out was I hate our medical system and how we work to fix things in hindsight instead of working to prevent things. Preventative medicine is not lucrative to the medical industry. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If you didn't already know that, they're not trying to keep you from getting sick most of the time. They're counting on you getting sick so that they can treat you for it. They're not going to give you preventative measures most of the time to fix your problems. They're going to try to get you to keep coming to them, paying them money to fix you, when really you could fix yourself and nip these things in the bud. So I am coming in on the opposite side of a physical therapist, on both sides really, because if you think about it, if you are on this side before you need physical therapy, working with a trainer and finding out how to properly exercise and take care of your health, then you're never going to need a physical therapist unless you get seriously injured. And I understand that, in which case I am on the other side of the physical therapist. After you work with the physical therapist to regain a good amount of range of motion and get rid of most of the pain, you are going to be sent to me, or at least you should be, so that I can help you improve on that range of motion and get stronger so that you can avoid that same kind of injury in the future. So I love being a personal trainer because I can be preventative, and that's kind of my main goal, is to be preventative, but I can also help you out after you have an issue as well and make it so that you can avoid having that issue again. Kind of cool in my opinion. Some of you probably don't care about that, but that is the transition that I've made. I am working with a friend of mine, somebody who I played lacrosse with at BYU, somebody who I now coach with at BYU as well, and I can't tell you too much about what we're doing, but I can tell you that we are working on ways to solve a lot of the issues that personal trainers have that keep personal training from being their full-time job. In my opinion, the same way a physical therapist's full-time job is being a physical therapist, we should be able to be full-time personal trainers as well, and that's just not the reality. It's the exception to the rule. There's over 340,000 certified personal trainers in the country at this time, and I can guarantee you that it is a very low number of those who are actually working it full-time. So our company that we've come up with, and I'm not even going to tell you the name yet, but we are working on solutions to help personal trainers make this a full-time job. If you have questions about that, go ahead and let me know down in the comments and I'll reach out. And then eventually when I make an Instagram page for this channel, you can reach out to me in my DMs and I'll get back to you. That's usually the best way to reach out to somebody in this situation, is through their DMs on Instagram, just so you're aware. I don't always see comments on YouTube, but I do always see DMs on Instagram. Those come through 100% of the time. So now I want to fast forward to the situation that I am in. This is important for those of you considering quitting your job because it might give you another option to look into. If you really think you're stuck in that job and you just can't transition, there's hope for you. I thought that it was one or the other. I didn't realize I could keep one foot slightly in the door. And this isn't going to be the case for every industry. Maybe right now, during the craziness in the job market, it could be the situation for everybody, because the reality is right now businesses are really desperate for workers, something that I'm experiencing at FedEx, although I think it's something that they always experience, honestly. It doesn't seem like since I started that this process has ever ended, and what it is that their turnover is ridiculous. So about a week after I was done working for them, I came to realize that even if I work a full-time trainer schedule, which is about 20 hours a week, so 20 personal training sessions, and that is a lot. I'd say that 10 to 15 is average. 20 is quite well above average for a personal trainer. Even if I'm working that above average hours for a personal trainer, that's just 20 hours. That's 4 hours a day. I've got a lot of holes in my days. Instead of just sitting around on my thumbs, I thought I'd be nice to my contractor because, like I said, they're good people. I reached out and I said, hey, every once in a while I could come in and work for you if you wanted me to. At first, I just offered every other weekend. I'd do Sundays because Sundays are super easy. And then that turned into them saying, if you've ever got free time, come and fill it here for us, please. We will pay you. You'll help us out. And so that's what I do. And it's really nice. I kind of have command now of what goes on with me there. I will tell them I can work this day and I can do it until 1, because at 1:30 I have a training session I have to be to. So I'll go in, I'll sort my truck, I'll make deliveries until like 12:45 to give me 15 minutes to get back to the station. And then whatever's left on the truck that I haven't finished, I just take back and somebody else goes and deals with that. I don't have to worry about it and I still get paid. So I'm kind of in the driver's seat. I was trying to avoid the pun, but I couldn't do it. I'm so sorry. I am in the driver's seat at FedEx, both figuratively and literally. I can make my own hours there now. And that never would have happened if I hadn't left. If I'd come to them and said, hey, I want to go part-time, it would have been like, nope, you're either working full-time or you're not working for us. But because I was like, hey, I'm quitting, and they were like, man, that sucks. And then I was like, hey, I've got some time. I could come and do some stuff for you. They were like, oh man, we could use you to do some stuff. It's a completely different reaction from one of those situations to the other one, and I am very grateful that I decided to just cut the cord and say I'm leaving, and then I had negotiating power. Some of you guys might have the same power. So this is one of the reasons to come and be a part of the Quit Your Job squad, not only for motivation to move on to something bigger and better out there, because there is something for you, I promise, but also to give you some ideas on how to make that transition. It's worked out really well for me. As I'm working on this company with my buddy, I still have time to go and do a little FedEx. That's not gonna last forever. Eventually, this company of ours, is going to be enough that I can have a full-time salary on it, and he will too. And at that point, we will both quit everything else that we're doing, except maybe coaching lacrosse, because we love that so much, and it's super early in the morning, so it's not in our way anyway. But that will eventually be our full-time gig, and I won't be doing the FedEx stuff anymore. I'm super excited to tell you about what I'm doing. I just can't let you know yet. So sorry. Anyway, here's some highlights of driving around. I'm grateful for you sticking around for the last 14 and a half minutes, or hopefully less, once I do all the editing, and I would love it if you would subscribe and become part of the Quit Your Job squad. If you have any questions for me, leave me a comment down below. I love to hear from you guys. I love to talk back and forth with you guys, especially those of you who are drivers. I love to hear your experiences and what's going on at your stations. It's very interesting to me. You guys have a great day.